Everybody knows the cholesterol myth, and it is a myth. It's kind of interesting that the Eskimos above the Arctic Circle have a legendary diet that's 98% red meat and blubber. They eat nothing but whale meat and whale blubber, walrus meat, walrus blubber, seal meat, seal blubber, bear meat, bear fat. They don't eat any organically grown broccoli or carrot juice. Their blood cholesterol ranges from 250 to 350, and they're legendary for not getting cardiovascular disease until they come down to the lower 48 and eat like us.
No. Now, I'm not sure when this interview was actually done, but it seems pretty old to me. The whole cholesterol, Eskimo myth, whatever you want to call it, started in 1975. Dreyerberg and colleagues, I hope I pronounced the name correctly there, surveyed Eskimos in Greenland and actually saw something quite interesting. They saw that the Eskimos had lower heart rates, and that is how the myth got created. And of course, that piqued the interest of many researchers, simply because the Eskimos are eating tons and tons of meat, way above whatever the average American is eating. So if higher meat intake is indeed strongly associated with cardiovascular disease, why do the Eskimos eat tons of it and apparently don't get any cardiovascular disease at all? Well, that's simply because it was just a survey. And a survey of a population is not really strong evidence, and they don't really account for a lot of confounding variables. But once we start collecting health data of the Eskimos, what do we actually see? Collecting Indian Health Service data actually confirms that the Eskimos are at higher risk for coronary heart disease to the same rate or even higher as other Alaska residents. And the same goes for stroke rates that appear to be higher in the Eskimos than other groups. Even further studies conducted on the Inuits suggest a higher rate of cardiovascular disease. The numbers you can see besides the CVD, so that's short for cardiovascular disease, are actually the numbers of studies conducted in the Inuit groups. And the next line is really important. Cardiovascular disease is occurring in people maintaining the traditional lifestyle. In other words, cardiovascular disease is very prominent within Eskimos that are eating tons of meat. This study also took account of a lot of different measurements, such as LDL cholesterol, for example. What's really interesting is that the LDL levels, or the mean average of LDL levels within the Eskimos, are way lower than those of many carnivores. And another interesting fact which goes against, the carnivore lifestyle is the saturated fat intake. Percentage-wise, from the total amount of calories that the Eskimos are eating, they are eating roughly around a little bit more than 13% of saturated fats. That is definitely way lower than all the carnivores are eating. So what about the Masai? The Masai tribe is also a tribe that eats tons and tons of animal products. Whenever a Masai warrior reaches the age of 14, they are bound by tradition to start eating animal-based products. And they don't eat any vegetables for decades. We actually have studies conducted on the Masai tribe, where researchers conducted autopsies on Masai warriors. And autopsies showed extensive atherosclerosis within those warriors. Let's make a bet here. You're betting with your health. Would you rather bet your health on a bizarre interview that was conducted however long ago with not great or any evidence behind those statements at all? Or would you bet on all the data that we have accumulated since 17 years plus? We have accumulated data from more than 200 studies conducted on more than 2 million people with more than 20 million years of follow-ups. Over 150,000 cardiovascular events happened. And that's data accumulated from randomized controlled trials, from genetic trials, and prospective cohort studies. On which of these two sides are you betting your health on? I'm definitely leaning in the latter. What are your thoughts about this topic? Feel free to let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you during my next video.